Hello everyone, welcome back. So in this video we are going to understand count binary substring problem number 696. So the problem we have is related to the strings, binary strings, and we have to count the binary substrings. Okay, basically if you, let's suppose if I'll give you a string, right, and it's a binary number, right? Can you quickly tell me how many valid binary substring exist here? Because the most of the people will try the brute force approach for this one, but most of the people will overthink about the sliding window. But the real trick is it's a group of counting problem, not a substring problem. So let's break it down, this problem, in very crystal clear. Okay, so let's try to understand here. So we are given a binary string, right? And meaning this binary string contains only 0 and 1. Okay, that is why it is called binary string. So we need to count the substring where number of ones and number of ones are equal, right? And all zeros are consecutive, right? Like we have consecutive zeros, and all ones are consecutive, right? So the valid example look like what? Let's suppose we have 0 1, right? So this is a valid case because all the 0 is, there is only one 0 and only one 1. Means if the count of, we'll talk about this, 0 is 1 and count of 1 is just 1. Now let's suppose we have 0 0 and 1 1. Okay, if this is a substring we have, yeah, this will also be a valid substring we have, right? Because this binary string contains 2 consecutive 0 and 2 consecutive ones. Means the all zeros are consecutive, all ones are consecutive, and number of zeros and ones are equal, right? So this is also valid, this is also valid. Don't confuse with this one. Okay, then let's suppose I'll go with the 3 zeros and 3 ones, right? So if this is a combination is there, still it's valid because number of zeros, number of ones are equal and they are consecutive together. Then we have, let's suppose 1 0 opposite to this one, right? We can say yes, this is also valid because number of 1 and number of 0 are consecutive and they are equal number of count. Similarly, we can say 1 1, 0 0, and so on. We can say that these are valid cases. So these are the valid substring, we can say that. So we need to count this type of substring, right, which is valid, not something like 0 1 0 1 0 1 like that, right? No, it will not work. If you write like this, definitely it will not work. Okay, let me tell you what are the valid things are and what are not valid things are. Okay, so we have seen this is a valid case that we were talking about, right? Let's suppose that if we have 0 1 0 1, so this is not a valid case of the substring. If we will take 0 0 1 0 1, right, this is not also valid because these are invalid cases and they are not grouped together. So when not grouped, it means it's not valid. When it's grouped, it will be valid. When it's not grouped, means it is not grouped, and it's yes grouped. We can say that. Okay, like that we can say that. I hope you're understanding the problem. It means what? That the grouping condition is very important here. Okay, so let's try to understand for this case. For this case, if we'll take this example where we have 2 consecutive 0, 2 1, and 2 consecutive 0 and 2 1, right? Like this we have given. Okay, It means instead of thinking character by character, let's group the consecutive character. Like if we'll segregate this character, something like 0 0, let me remove first, like this: 0 0, 1 1, 0 0 and 1 1. So once you will group the consecutive character together, it will look like this, right? So now look at the sizes. What is the sizes there? 2 2 2 2. Am I correct? Right? Because once we will group it, we have to check the size. So size is also equal. Now here is the insight: between every adjacent group, right, the number of valid substring we have to check, right? Means the what is a number of valid substring is which is equal, right? So if you'll say that, let's call a function mean, and we'll say a previous group length, right, and current group length, like this. So if we want to find the from the every group, right, we want to find the every adjacent group, we can say between them, we can say the number of valid substring which is equal, right? We can find like this, right? So we'll get the valid substring. So valid substring means we can find the number of valid substring, we can say that. So let's suppose it gives you the previous group length was 2 and current group length is 3. It means you will get the size, which is this, is equal to the number of valid, we can say valid substring, right? Valid substring. So if number of valid substring we want to find, which is equal to the minimum of previous group length and the current group length, then you will find this two value, right? This is for example, this is for the example I'm saying that. So if you want to find the number of valid substring, it is equal to minimum between the previous group length and the current group length. Let's suppose, for example, I'll say I want some value to find, right? Let's suppose in this case we saw that 2 2 2 are the size. Okay, so how we will find the value? We'll say we have mean, then will you find 2 2. What is the value? Will you come 2. Similarly, mean will find mean with the previous 2 2, you will get the 2. Again we will find minimum, then we have 2 2. So these are the combination that we have to check, guys, right? All the time we are getting 2 2 2 only, right? It means if we'll do 2 plus 2 plus 2, what will the total value will be? Because 6, that will be 6. So the answer is 6, and that is why we are getting the answer here is 6. I hope you are understanding, right? Basically, if we'll talk about how to do the implementation, right, in the very simple steps, what we need to do, we have to maintain the what you call the previous group, right, previous group length and the current group length, and we will keep counting. So let's suppose count, we are coming 2, so we'll just increase the count next time, right? So it will get added the count. So count will get added 2 2 4 and 2 6. So it will come 6 answer, like this. Okay, so basically we want to traverse from index 1, and so from index 1 to the last, right? So each index we will check if the character is equal, right? Same character is there, then we'll increase the current, right? So it will keep moving ahead. When we reach to, let's suppose the very first way, index 1 0 1, right? So we are setting okay 1. Next we'll move to the index number 2. So that time we'll check the character is getting changed from 0 0, it is coming to 1. It means character is getting changed. So we have finished the group, right? Now what we need to do, we have to call we have to find the valid substrings count. Let's suppose count plus, we can say that, equal to mean of previous and the current. What is the previous size, what is the current size, right? That we will pass. Let's suppose in the very first is coming, it is 0, it is 2, so minimum is 0. So now we will update our previous equal to 2, current equal to 1, and so on. We will keep moving ahead and we'll find the value. Okay, let me show you the code how I have developed. So here, if you see, we have to maintain for previous and the current group, right? And we'll take the count as a 0. So what we will do, we'll start from the 1 and we'll check the previous character. If previous character is equal, the current group will be increased. Otherwise, in the else condition, we'll find the count that character has been changed. Now it's not equal and we have finished the group, right? So we have to check and we have to update the count. So this is previous group length and this is current group length, from where we'll get the what you call the common substring, right? We will find, and that is the size of the we'll get from here, and then we'll update both is equal. We'll mark as equal because the common will come here, right? So let's suppose current is getting updated with the previous one. Now the current group is equal to 1. We'll reset the value and this for loop will keep going ahead and will reach to the from the first to the last index, right? Then finally we'll come to the count, and from the previous and the current will maintain the final count, right? And we will return to the last. We will return the count in the last, right? Let's suppose that we have the previous group, right, and the current group and the count, right? If we do the dry run, very first, let's suppose for the previous, right, if we start from the 0 and current is starting from the 1 and the count is also 0. Okay, basically we want to start from the 0 0, right? So we have 0 0 1 1 0 0, right? Like this we have, right? And I think there is a 1 1 also there, right? Like that we can say. If you segregate this and this, right? So we have this count, right? Let me check. Yes, we have 0 0 1 1 0 0 and 1 1, right? So total is we have divided like this, right? Now we have to traverse from the index 1 itself, right? So let's suppose we are at index 1. So at index 1, what is the same character is there? So once the same character is there, so we'll keep increasing its current, right? So when we are at index 1, let's suppose we have started, right, from 0 to the 1, it means current is getting updated to 2, right? Can we say that? Because these are the same character. When same character is there, it means we will increase from here to here, right? And we'll say, okay, the current size is 2, and that is correct, right? When we reach to index number 1, right, 2, this is 0 1 2, so character is getting changed. Now it is changes, so we have finished a group. So this time what will happen, we have to find the count, right? So when we will find the count, we will say, okay, plus equal to, we need the minimum, and here we need the previous, right, and the current, correct? Because if you see here, we are checking if the character is checking will come to this group, okay? And here we have previous and we have current. It means we have to check that what is the minimum here. So minimum is coming, the value, let's suppose minimum was 0 because this is previous. What is current? Current is 2. It means it should be updated to 0, right? Correct? Now if we'll talk about what is the previous value here now, right? Because it's updated now, so previous is 2 now. Current is, we have to update again with the 1, right? So we'll say, okay, update as a 1 now. So update this value as 1. What is the count value is there? So we'll say, okay, count is also updated to, here is 0 itself, okay? Now again we'll add these values here, right? When we'll move to the next value, let's suppose we will keep continuing that and we'll go to the next to here. Let's suppose we'll reach here, right? So this time the value will be previous is also 2, current is also 2, so we'll get 2 here, right? So once you completed this 0 1 2 3 index, third index, it means you got your count is becoming 2 now, correct? And again, if you'll see, the same thing will happen when we reach here, and the same thing will happen to reach here. Like that, we'll keep going ahead, and we will see that the count is getting updated, correct? And each time when we reach, let's suppose we'll reach here, we'll add 2, we have added 2, it was 0, and when we reach to 2, so 2 plus 2 plus 2 will get here is 6 as a count value, right? And when this for loop is completed, we'll check the previous and the current group, right? So we have updated the previous group and the current group, so the count will be remain same there, and basically we are adding everything there, so we'll return the finally the count as a 6 value. Like, if you can debug, it's better to understand the way by debugging. So notice something important here, that we need a generated substring, and we never use a nested loop here. We'll use a simple traversing thing, and we will just track group of length, and that is our very good elegant solution. Okay guys, so in case if you're not understanding, you can ping me in the comment box, you can ask the question, and for learning as a DSA and Java, you can join our online classes, and for the development you can learn from me as a full stack developer. So that's all I have in this video guys. You can join our online classes and you can meet. So I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye bye.